What's going on, everyone? My name is Jonathan Parker. I'm the co-founder of Scale 77. We're a growth agency that works exclusively with med spas that are doing over $25,000 a month. Today, I'm going to go super in depth and show you all the important numbers inside of every clinic that you can track, how to improve them, and make sure that you're getting consistent growth month over month. And you're probably wondering why I'm doing all this for free. And it's just because, honestly, there's no reason for me to keep this a secret. I'm better off helping out other clinics with what we've found. And in turn, some of you would just rather have me do this for you instead. So it's a win-win. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know any other problems you might have in your med spa, and I'll try to make a video over that as well. Okay, so today we're going to be going over the clinic metrics that matter for med spa owners. And why this is important is because you just can't grow what you're not measuring. Most clinics that I speak to are really only looking at their revenue or their profit each month, but the problem is revenue is just the result. It's not the driver of your business. The real growth really comes from tracking the metrics that create the revenue. So when you know your numbers, you can see exactly where the leaks are in your business, you can fix them quickly. So I like to start out by breaking this down by our 6 core metrics. You can see where you have any problems here, and then you can dig another layer deeper. So starting with the leads, this is just how many new people raised their hand this week and were interested in whatever you had to offer them. So this is typically just looking like names and numbers, and we don't have a base metric for this for you to reach. It's based off yourself. You kind of want to benchmark on what you've done in the past, look at your ad spend, but typically the more the merrier. Then we have show rate. So this is the percentage of booked patients that actually showed up to your chair. The target we like to see is around 80%. For our clinics that we work with, we're seeing over 90% usually. And raising this metric is really one of the quickest way to grow your business without spending more on ads, just focusing on that. Because if this is lacking below 80%, you can work on your follow-up. You can make sure that you're calling these leads way quicker to get them invested, or charging a deposit that's like towards their treatment. That helps a lot as well. And then that carries us over to our close rate. So of all the patients who showed up and got that first treatment, how many of them bought a package? The target is 30 or 40%. This is really where most of the money is made for our clients. And then that carries us over to average ticket. So this is how much revenue the average new patient brings in for your business. Selling single sessions over and over again will keep this low for your business, but whenever you really dial in on selling packages and memberships, it'll go up quickly. And then we have retention. So this is how many patients come back after their first purchase. The target here is at least 30% on memberships or long-term plans. And retention is really where a lot of the profit comes from in your business without having to spend ad spend as well. And then we have reviews, which this is one of the most underlooked metrics for people. And it's just people who leave an online review for you and grow your presence. But whenever you have this whole system set up and then you plug this in just the right way, it starts feeding itself and compounding on itself, bringing it all together. And it just brings you more leads that just keeps growing your business. And then a little bit more advanced metrics. We have our LTV and our CAC, which is lifetime value, customer acquisition cost. So lifetime value is the total revenue a patient brings your clinic over the whole time with you. And the formula for this, super simple, just average spend per visit times the amount of visits per year times the years as a patient. So if they spend $500 each time they come, and they usually come 3 times a year, and you're usually seeing these people for 2 years, your LTV would be $3,000. And then your customer acquisition cost is just how much you spend to get a customer. So a simple way would be ad spend divided by new patients acquired. So if you spend $5,000 on ads and you get 25 patients, your customer acquisition cost would be $200. And this helps so much because it lets you know what you can spend on marketing for it to make sense. So if it only costs you $200 to acquire a customer, that's going to spend $3,000 lifetime. That's a pretty good deal. And if you're in the position, you could even up this. And also vice versa. If your LTV is lower, you know that you need to focus on getting this higher before you're spending more on ads. And then a little bonus over here is just referral rate. So this is the amount of people that are new patients that came in from referrals, because referral patients usually spend more money, they'll stay longer with your clinic, and they just lower your customer acquisition costs. So always want to make sure you get this as high as possible as well. So whenever you see you're lacking one of these areas, you can break it down even further. And that's what I have here. So again, most people are really just looking at the clients coming in, their revenue, and their profit. And most med spas aren't failing because of bad marketing. They just don't know where their leaks are. Whenever you're measuring every single metric in your business, it becomes super easy to pinpoint any issue and correct them. So over here, this pretty much breaks up your whole entire business. You can break it into marketing, sales, and retention. And ads, leads, booking, shows, sales, retention too, if it's a little simpler. And this is where you can find your holes. And usually you'll have one issue that you need to focus on the most. It'll be your bottleneck. And you'll pick one of these columns and just work on that first. If you're trying to fix your whole business at once when it's not broken, you'll just spread yourself too thin and you will not be efficient. So first we have our cost per lead. This is how much you're paying for someone to fill out your form or just show interest in your offer overall, enough to the point where they'll give you their name and their number. The formula here is ad spend divided by total amount of leads. Typical range we like to see here is around $20 to $60 per lead, but it really depends heavily on the treatment or location. A good rule of thumb for this one is just go find your numbers, find the lower end, and just benchmark against yourself and kind of strive to hit that. And why this matters is it tells you if your ad offer or your targeting needs work. And then we have the cost per booking. So this is the real cost of getting someone booked in on your calendar. So the formula here is going to be ad spend divided by booked appointments. So if you spend $1,000 on ad spend, you get 10 bookings, that's $100 cost per booking. Why this matters is because your cost per lead can look super good. It can be insane, have thousands of leads for low spend. But if people actually aren't booking on your calendar, you're just wasting money and you're not getting the data you need. And then next after this in the funnel, we go to our show rate. So this is the amount of people who actually show up to their appointment after they are booked on your calendar. Formula here is just shows divided by bookings. And like I said earlier, we like to have 70% or higher. And to fix a low show rate, you can use deposits, reminders, or just have a faster lead and response time. And then we get into conversion rate. So this is the amount of consultations that turn into paying clients that keep coming back and buying packages. Like I said, we like to have over 50%. If this is low, you can definitely train your staff more or get more SOPs going to raise that. And we have average ticket, like we went over earlier. The higher this is, the more profit per client you're getting without having to spend more on ad spend. And then LTV again, which is really just one of the most important metrics in your clinic. So once you're measuring these, it doesn't matter if you're not taking action. So you have to find out where your issues are and pinpoint those and fix it. Like I said, you don't want to spread yourself too thin trying to fix everything when it might not be broken. So say you have a low LTV. Everything else is good. Your marketing's good, your sales good, and then your LTV is lacking. You might just need to work on your membership package or your referrals more. You don't want to spend time training your sales team whenever the issue lies over here. Or let's say you have a low conversion rate. So people are showing up, you're getting them in for a good price. And then once you do have people, they're spending a good amount of money. So let's say you have a low conversion rate. You want to make sure that you're just focusing on sales, getting your team trained up to be able to sell these packages. You don't want to waste time working on getting people in the door or showing up whenever that's not the issue. So let's say you have a high cost per booking or high cost per lead, just your marketing is inefficient. So this is what we do for the clients that we work with is we break this down on another level and we go into the marketing, the ads themselves and break this down into more columns. So anytime anything is lacking, we can pinpoint it exactly and fix it. Like let's say the video is not getting enough plays at the first 3 seconds. We'll change the hooks or it's too expensive to show people. We'll switch who we're showing it to. This just comes to show you that everything in your business is not random. Everything can be broken down into another layer deeper and deeper, and it just starts from the surface. So I have people all the time saying the economy's bad, the leads are broke, marketing's random, but that's just not true. You can always dig in and find exactly what you need to fix and work on. And that really brings me to the end of this video. If you want these boards in a downloadable way, just leave a comment down below and I'll go ahead and get them sent over to you. And also, if you want to see how this looks in your business, you can always book a call with us over at scale77.com and we can just run over and help you find out your exact numbers and everything like that. But yeah, that's all for this one. Let me know what else you'd like to see in future videos, anything you might be struggling with in your med spa. So it's been Jonathan Parker. Thanks.